everybody? Welcome back. We are back finally. I'm not sure what episode is it. What episode is it? Like 7, 8?
7?
7? Probably 7.
7, right?
Yeah, look. All right, well, we're back. We had to take a little bit of a hiatus here at the Next Man Up podcast. In case I forgot, I'm one of your hosts, Rich Duncan Murphy, here with my boy Donnie Reed, the other host. Some things happened in COVID that we had to take a little bit of a break just to get some things in order. But we are back, and we are glad to be back. So thank you guys for rocking with me.
None of us had the virus, by the way. Neither one of us had the virus, I promise.
Nobody has COVID. I'm just saying, things happen in COVID.
My man Rich made a big move, so you know what I mean? We had to give him some time off. So you know what I mean, clap it up for my guy.
Man, y'all see the digs in the back. This is my room out here. Y'all see the posters and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. So I had to get some things done real quick. And now we're back, and we're better than ever, and we got some hot topics to talk about. This is the right time.
One thing, man. Before we get started, I I just want to say again, as most of you guys know who's watching this and probably care, I just want to say I'm sorry for your loss, bro. My condolences to you and the family. As always, we already talked. If you guys need anything, you let me know, and I'm sure that goes for everybody that will tune in. So just wanted to let you know, bro.
Appreciate that, bro. Definitely, man. But like I said, man, we got some hot topics to get at, so we just gonna jump right into it. The last couple of days, we've had the NBA bubble getting it going. The NBA is finally back. Everybody's much more happier in life. We finally have some real live sports to watch, so we just gonna jump into it. First night, we had some interesting games, man. We had the Jazz and the Pels. We had the Lakers and the Clippers, man, and they was getting to it. Two pretty good games. Of course, I thought the funniest part of the night was Rudy Gobert ended the NBA season, and then he started to back off scoring the first and last points of those games. Ironically, yeah, with everything that's going on. And then Lakers-Clippers, man. The Clippers were a little short-handed. They didn't have Lou Willis-Prez, but
Lemon Pepper Lou.
They ain't had Lemon Pepper Lou, but they was getting to it, man. Another good game. LeBron struggled a little bit, but LeBron did what he does, and he closed the game at the end for the Lakers. But with that being said, Donnie, we're going to jump right into it, man. What are your thoughts and feelings on the bubble so far? How you think it's working? And then we're going to talk about some teams we think, are doing good, some teams we think are doing bad, teams that need to improve.
Honestly, man, I know, me and you have talked a lot about it. I know you didn't really think it was going to work as much. And, I was the one that was like, nah, man, they're going to be isolated. I think it's going to work. And, pleasantly to, to everybody's surprise, it's been working, man. Obviously Lou Will, he fumbled the bag by acting like a fool, but we see where that got him. But, for the most part, man, everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, staying in, staying where they're supposed to be behind the boundaries. And it's been working well. Like they've been saying, man, if you're not having nobody come in and nobody's going out, what can happen? They haven't had a positive test since July 14th. I just feel like it's been going a lot better than expected. And I want to shout out the basketball tournament, the TBT, because I feel like, without that and them being so successful, that the NBA definitely wouldn't be where they're at right now. They learned a lot from that with having these players bubbled up and isolated. And I know it sucks, but they do a pretty good job of giving the players stuff to do. They're allowing them to go to other teams' games, which is pretty cool. I know the Blazers were at the Lakers-Clippers game, which was probably cool.
Yep.
So, all around, I think the bubble has been more than successful, actually, probably better than anybody could have expected it to go. Even with the virtual fans, I thought was probably the stupidest idea in the world. And I'm watching the games, and honestly, the virtual fans is one of the cooler parts of the game. They do a good job cropping in the crowd noise and everything. So all around, I think the bubble has been a success, and I just hope that they're able to keep that momentum and make it through the season without any hiccups.
Yeah, man. So like you said, man, I was skeptical of the bubble at first. I was skeptical not because I didn't think that the bubble could work. It was more so that I didn't trust people who stay in or not come into the bubble. You got a bunch of grown men in a bubble for the next, 2 months or whatever,
3
next 2-3 months. And, people, they're going to get bored of being in their house. It's like everybody else was, quarantining at home. People get that fever to go outside and or go do whatever. And credit to the NBA, they've pretty much taken just about every precaution that you can to make sure that this thing works and that people stay safe. Unlike the MLB and the NFL, we're gonna talk about
we'll get to those
there a little bit more later. But I mean, with the testing every day and the staggered schedules for practice and making sure nobody leaves the bubble, and if you do, you got to come back and quarantine for 2 weeks, man. The NBA's really kind of set the standard again for how you should handle certain things.
Yeah, Adam Silver, man.
And they're on top. They are on top of their game, and so far, like you said, man, it's working. I mean, we've had good competitive games. Nobody's testing positive right now. Everything seems to be good, and I'm glad they did it because this is something we definitely needed. And then on top of that, man, they're staying on top of the social justice, platform side of things, man. They're making sure that it's not just something that's forgot about in the sports, man. They're pushing it every single day. It is in everybody's face every day. We turn on a game. It's good, man. So I think the NBA is once again on top, doing what they got to do, proving why they're probably the best sports league in the world. So, that being said, man, there's a couple teams, players that we want to highlight. First of all, man, give me your thoughts on the Lakers Clippers, man. That's what everybody wants to talk about in the West. Lakers Clippers, battle for LA, man. What you think?
I think, man, it's crazy because the game exceeded the hype. Like, yeah, they looked a little rusty for sure. Like, I mean, they haven't played a game since March. It's what, 4 months, 5 months now. So the rust was definitely there. You've seen the rust, but like the intensity level, the defense, the shot making ability, like was just the game exceeded my expectations. Well, I mean, like you said, LeBron maybe didn't have the greatest game. Anthony Davis played tremendously. Kawhi and Paul George do what Kawhi and Paul George do. They made big shots. And then, like you said, man, closer LeBron came in at the end and did what big players do, man. The best player in the league for a reason. He came in, he ended the game. I think for sure Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell make a difference in that game, but there's no excuses. I mean, people got to step up, and that's not a knock to the Lakers for their win, but it's definitely a totally different ball game if Montrezl Harrell and Lou Will are there. So, I mean, more than anything, like, I love the Sixers and whatever. We'll get to them. There's nothing more in the NBA I want than a Clippers-Lakers 7-game series. I think that's what everybody in the world wants. I think that's what everybody in the world deserves. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like that right there just made me even more excited to see them play in a 7-game series.
Yeah, Clippers-Lakers in 7 games, man. I think with Lou Will and Trez for that game on Thursday, I think the Clippers do win that game. But with that being said, I think a lot of that would be more attributed to them having that depth more than anything. I think that LeBron and AD together are enough to carry the Lakers. Yes, you're going to need help from the role players. You're going to need other guys to step up. But I think those two guys are just so potent in their ability that I think that's what takes the Lakers over the hump in a 7-game series. But with that being said, the Clippers' depth and then having 2 studs out and winning in PG and Kawhi, man, that makes them a very tough out. That's a 7-game series. That there's no way that series doesn't go to 7. I guess I give it to the Lakers just because they got Bron and AD. They have probably the 2 best players out of it. I mean, that's if you want to argue, is AD better than Kawhi? But I mean, that's going to be an incredible series, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get that for the conference final, at least.
I would assume. I think Paul George definitely comes with some vengeance after the way he went out in the playoffs last year, going out like a sucker in OKC. I think he's definitely going to have a little chip on his shoulder in the playoffs this year.
PG got something to prove now. I mean, look, the kind of the knock on PG now is when it comes playoff time, he's not the same PG.
Yeah, he lost that playoff P. He used to be playoff P.
I mean, look, Bron was bouncing him from the playoffs every year when he was in Indy. I mean, he came out west, and I mean, now he's getting bounced by Lillard when they should have had that series wrapped up.
Joe Ingles
against the Jazz, man. And just, I mean, playoff P got something to prove, man. We're going to see.
I agree. All right, so to stick on topic for the West before we hit a couple other games, who do you think is the biggest threat to ruining a Lakers-Clippers Western Conference Finals? Who do you think is the biggest threat?
You know what, bro? as much as I'm still skeptical about this style of play, bro, the Houston
Like,
Rockets, bro.
like,
James,
I love it.
listen,
Love to see it.
the Houston Rockets, bro. Why do I say the Houston Rockets, bro? Because at the end of the day, even if they're playing that small ball type of ball and you got good bigs, if you have good bigs, you should feel like you're going to win that game because you feel like you're going to out-rebound them and take away second chance points. But somehow, time and time again, you know, they got that small ball lineup out there where Covington's probably your tallest player, but he's not even playing your center. And, you know, there were a couple possessions in that game against Dallas where Porzingis is posting up Covington. Covington gets a strip. Covington, you know, plays the defense. They're getting the ball where they should be, you know, really taking advantage of them. They forced Dallas into shooting a lot of jump shots. And then, you know, you get in that run and gun game with Houston,
Exactly.
that's where they,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? And you see it where James Harden comes out of nowhere and ends up finishing with 49 points in overtime and they win the game in a game that they probably should have lost. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think the unpredictability of Houston and
Yes.
not a lot of teams being able to match up with their guards, you know what I'm saying? I think could be the biggest, you know, team or biggest threat to ruin that Lakers Clippers matchup. Man.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I don't think there's really like I don't want to say they can, but I think if they caught the Clippers, like I'm not saying they would, I would take the Clippers, but they could really do some damage. Like because you got a guy that can score 50 points any night.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, you know, I mean that's not a knock on any of these other guys, but when you got a guy that can score 50 at the snap of a finger, it's dangerous. But I'll go out on the limb here, man. It's my first hot take because, you know, I've been watching a lot of Undisputed.
Right.
I mean, my man Shannon Sharp, Uncle Shannon's been, you know, I mean, teaching me a lot. I don't think they're the biggest threat. I agree with you that Houston is the biggest threat, but I'll go out on the limb right here and tell you that a team, they're not gonna. I wouldn't say they're gonna beat them, but I would not sleep on OKC, man. They have nothing to lose. They're playing with house money right now.
I like it.
You know what I mean? Like OKC was supposed to had a 2% chance to make the playoffs, man.
I like it.
OKC goes into the playoffs. They get the 4 seed. Say they get the Jazz. I think they beat the Jazz.
Right.
And then you get the Lakers. No, am I sitting here saying the Thunder are going to beat the Lakers? Absolutely not. But you got a veteran in Chris Paul. You got at this point Steven Adams is a veteran. You got an upcoming star in Gilgeous-Alexander. Dude is a stud. You got Gallinari, and they're playing with house money, man. They're going to be they're expected to lose. So they're going in there and just saying, oh, look, man, like let's play ball. Like we have no pressure, while the Lakers have all the pressure.
Right.
So no, I'm not saying the Thunder beat them. I'm not saying the Thunder beat the Clippers or the Lakers or even the Jazz. But they're definitely a sleeper team that you should definitely keep your eye on in the bubble if you don't know some of them players, man, because they got some hoopers. And they got 8 first-round picks in the next 4 years. So don't sleep on them.
It's going to be interesting to see what they parlay those picks to, man. Because look, if I'm OKC, the next couple of drafts, you don't know what's going on with COVID and whatnot, and you're not sure how you're going to be able to evaluate guys for the foreseeable future. I would not be surprised to see a lot of those picks parlayed into a trade for a big.
The crazy thing is, Chris Paul is going to turn into a first-round pick too.
Yeah, and I don't know who that big name is, but I mean, I see a big name coming to OKC sooner than later.
Look, man, they did what like the Steelers didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean? Like Steelers let AB and Le'Veon go. The Thunder turned Paul George and Russell Westbrook into Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari, Chris Paul, and 8 first-round picks.
That's a haul right there.
That's more than a haul. That is insane.
That's a haul.
And kudos to that. And I don't think any team's looking back at it though and saying like, "Wow, we messed up." Where the Clippers are at, I don't think they're saying like, "Wow, we need those 4 first-round picks." Like, and I think Houston likes where they're at right now too. So I mean, I think all around it's a success for everybody, man.
I agree. I mean, the Western Conference has a lot of good headlines, a lot of good things to talk about, man. You can talk about, you know, Denver and them running a lot of bigs and Bol kind of coming out of nowhere and playing well.
Bol, baby.
They could cause some problems for teams matchup-wise. And then the Jazz, if they ever get gelling, you know, Jazz can kind of heat up a little bit.
Yeah, I just want to shout the Jazz out real quick, man. I thought they were going to come out and be done. I thought they were done, man. And you know, what I mean, if you want to go back and you watch episode 1, where you know when the quarantine just started and the NBA ended, I'm pretty sure me, you, and Steve all wrote the Jazz off. We were like, now they're done. Not going to have no chemistry. And shout out to them. I mean, Mike Conley definitely came back playing well. Jordan Clarkson, he takes too many shots, but he's been playing pretty well.
Played well.
Joe Ingles, don't even get me started. Just next topic.
Bro, but the big thing for them was going to be the chemistry, man. There was all those reports about, you know, Donovan Mitchell and Gobert beefing over the whole COVID thing because Donovan Mitchell ended up getting the virus. But, I mean, they seem to have gotten over it at least enough to have a professional relationship on the court.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. Definitely shout out to them.
So the Jazz can heat up, and in Dallas, you never know. They got KP back, and they look potent on offense, man.
KP look good, man. I'm glad, too.
They need some work on defense, but offensively, Luka and KP, that's 2.5 plus points per game scorers right there. And then you got shooters around them. If they can figure out defense a little bit, man, they can be dangerous too. So, I mean, you don't in the West, there's not going to be an easy out in the first round.
Right.
But
all right.
Before we get talking about the AC, that's going to be an hour discussion. All right, before we get to this match, all right, because I already know you're going to go on your little hating rant. All right. Let's get to the Eastern Conference real quick. Let's just glide through the Eastern Conference real quick, and then we'll come back to that.
Eastern Conference makes me want to throw up.
My thoughts on the Eastern Conference is this. Milwaukee is the best team in the NBA. They look like it every time they hit the court. Toronto is the most well-coached team in the NBA.
I agree.
And they will never be an easy out. They looked great against the Lakers last night. If Kyle Lowry plays like that every night, that's going to be tough to beat them.
Kyle Lowry's so underrated, man. It's disrespectful.
And I used to hate on Kyle Lowry a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I used to think he was just kind of annoying.
He's up, man. Nova Nation, that's my guy.
He was very inconsistent. I won't say he was very inconsistent, but, you know, I just felt like there were some games where he was shining, some games where he was treated real poorly. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Toronto looks good. Toronto is a team much like the Clippers, who's kind of built for the bubble. A lot of depth, a good coach, make things
good guard play.
You know what I'm saying? If the team's not going, if the stars aren't going, then the depth kind of picks them up. Another team
got guys like Fred VanVleet that can score 30 at the snap of a finger.
Exactly. Boston's got good wings, man. They're young. They're talented. Another good coach. They can make some things happen. I think they're a little tier under Toronto and Milwaukee, but I mean that shows in the standings. Still a good team, could make some things happen. Then you get to a team like Miami, where do I think they particularly make a lot of noise in the playoffs? No, but somehow, some way, they're always kind of in the game, and the Sixers can never beat them. So I
don't even talk about them.
You know how that goes. I'm not particularly worried about the Pacers. I don't think the Pacers are going to make a whole lot of noise, even though
that's pathetic.
Even though T.J. Warren just gave the Sixers 50 last night, in what might be one of the most ridiculous defensive performances I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh my God, toxic.
And I don't even know if it's worth talking about the rest of the Eastern Conference at this point because
definitely include the Sixers at the bottom at this point.
The Sixers have made no adjustments to anything. At least it doesn't seem like it. I mean, Joel Embiid, he looks great. He came back, had the game of his life.
Yeah, he did.
And they end up losing the game. I mean, for Joel Embiid to come out and have 41 and 21.
And honestly, he looked lazy. He looked lazy. That's the crazy thing. At 41 and 21, in my opinion, he looked lazy.
I'm not even going to say he looked lazy. I thought the 41 and 21, it was like a quiet 41 and 21.
Yeah, like I looked up at 35.
Everything else going on. Like there was one point in the game I'm watching, and I looked at his numbers, and I'm like, when did Joel get 33 points? You know what I'm saying?
Like, I'll disagree with you with one part though. I do think they made some adjustments. I think moving the Ben to the 4 was great because I think he played tremendously last night offensively. Like I think he looked a little more in rhythm, a little more comfortable.
He was more scoring minded than he was.
Yes, but he's just because they put him in better spots to score. Like him catching the ball at the high post right there.
It's perfect.
That's good money. With Joel posting down low, so you got the high low. The way he passes the ball, that's good money, man. I guess I'll hit the Sixers first. Yeah, because I'm not the Nets. The Nets, the Magic. Not the Wizards. I'm not commenting on.
No.
They're done. They should have stayed home. We could have just did 6 teams in the East and gave the Raptors and the Bucks a bye because it's pathetic.
Right.
Even though to their defense, the Magic have been playing okay. They're not going to beat the Raptors, but they'll entertain a series.
Yeah.
I should say. I'm going to stop discrediting them. I'm wrong. But the Nets and the Wizards should have stayed home.
Right.
Sixers, man. Where do I start? Ron G's, I hope you're watching this. You are a better coach than Brett Brown. Holy crap. I don't understand how Matisse Thybulle plays 12 minutes. Raul Neto plays 21. Alec Burks was 3 for 3 from the three-point line. Furkan Korkmaz was 0 for 5. Korkmaz played more minutes.
He did.
I don't understand these things, man. Mind you, we're struggling on defense, right? If we were struggling on offense, I understand. You got to put Korkmaz in. Neto, maybe he can shoot the ball a little bit better. Okay. We were struggling on defense, and you had our second-best defender sitting on the bench for Raul Neto. I don't understand. I don't understand. Tobias Harris looked tremendous.
He did.
Al Horford actually looks pretty good.
He didn't play bad.
Did Josh Richardson even play yesterday? I don't know.
He
was awful. Shake Milton was awful. But I think, that's a lot of pressure on a kid that just got into the starting lineup. His first time really playing with everybody. I'm not gonna write him off yet. Him and that Joel Embiid thing. Hopefully they get over that. I don't know, man.
My thoughts. Sixers rotations. Brett Brown still has not figured out.
Yes.
Rotations. He still has not figured out that there's no reason that Furkan Korkmaz should be your sixth man. He should not be off the bench. He almost seems like he doesn't adjust in game enough.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't make any adjustments. You could be over 30.
And hear me out when I say this. So like you said, we're struggling defensively. TJ Warren has 19 points in the first quarter. TJ Warren has 30-something points at half. I understand the thinking that you want Ben Simmons guarding Oladipo because technically Oladipo is their best player.
Yes.
But Oladipo hasn't played a serious basketball game in just about a year.
Yeah, it's been a grip.
TJ Warren is cooking your team right now. You have Ben Simmons, who is going to be first-team All-NBA defense.
Top 4 in Defensive Player of the Year. Should probably win it, in my opinion, but they're not going to give it to him.
Some consideration for Defensive Player of the Year. That's how well he's played on defense. And you don't put Ben Simmons onto TJ Warren until there's about 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Okay, now let me tell you something, too. People will say, like, oh, well, he did this on Ben Simmons, da-da-da. Let me tell you something. By then, it's too late.
He's hot.
TJ Warren was shooting tennis balls into the freaking pool at that point. Everything that he shot was going in.
Right.
There was no – I've been around basketball my whole life. Like, I ain't saying I was a superstar, but I know friends that are superstars. I've seen these dudes get in rhythm, and they're not going to miss. And TJ Warren is in the NBA for a reason. He gets in a rhythm like that, dude. It doesn't matter who you put on.
Warren is a bucket. He's a good player.
He's not going to miss. So that was very –
and that's man, bro. You let anybody get in the zone like that, you can put 2-3 hands in their face and they're not gonna miss.
That shot he hit to end the game, bro. Come on, man.
A couple hours ago, Dame did the same thing, bro. They let Dame get hot, and then Portland ends up getting back into the game. They didn't.
Don't even bring them up. We'll get to them. Don't worry. I don't even want to talk about.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't sit there and watch this dude go off, and make no adjustment to try and stop him. Literally make zero adjustment to try and stop him. And Tobias Harris, with the quote of the game afterwards, literally said we were guarding him like he wasn't on fire.
Yeah, that was stupid.
We were guarding him like he wasn't on fire.
You see what the Mavs did to James Harden when he started cooking. Get the ball out of his hand. Make fucking Doug McDermott beat us. Like, cool. If Doug McDermott beats us, man, like, whatever. Like, you can't let this dude have 53 points. That's just bad. That's so bad. And that's the thing that separates, like, that's the difference. Rick Carlisle, Brett Brown. Like, it's a different animal right there.
And that's the thing that frustrates Sixers fans is, again, Sixers got all this talent, all the talent in the world, all these expectations, and they just continue to underperform. There's nights where the Sixers look like the best team in the NBA, look like the greatest team to ever hit a basketball court, and then there's nights where they do this. They let the team that
Right.
has no business being on the court with them stick around in the game and win. We're up 10 with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Joel Embiid comes out the game for exactly 2 minutes, and you lost the lead. You were down 2 at that point. Joel Embiid couldn't sit for 2 minutes without blowing the lead.
It's like LeBron when he was with the
That's
Cavs.
coaching. That has to be coaching and preparedness. At some
Because
point,
we didn't have bad players on. Well, we did have some bad players on the court, but still had some decent players out there that should have been able to get the job done.
it has to reflect on the coach, and that's all I'm gonna say about the Sixers right now. They need to get it together.
And think about it, man. As you go down the East, right, and you know what I mean. So you went top to bottom. I'll go the other way now. We hit the Sixers. You look at the Pacers.
They win a series.
Huh?
I'm not confident that they win a series.
Exactly. And think about it. And think about why. You got the Pacers, right? I'm not gonna hit the players on the court. You got Nate McMillan, who's no slouch as a coach. He's not a coach of the year, but Nate McMillan's a decent coach. But then you get to the nitty gritty. Top 4 teams in the East. You got Spo. You got Spo. Elite. The East might have 4 of the like top 6 or 7 coaches in the NBA.
I agree.
Because you got Spo, and I'll get back to the Heat. Then you got Brad Stevens, and then you got Nick Nurse, and then you got Bud, and there are 4 of the best coaches in the NBA. But I disagree with you in one spot though. I think the Heat, if they stay at the 4 seed, I'm not saying they will again, can beat the Bucks in the 7-game series. And here's why. The Heat have the perfect matchup for Giannis. Bam Adebayo is a stud on defense. He's the perfect player to guard Giannis. Can he?
But I'm gonna interrupt you real quick, and I'm gonna let you get back to it. I feel you, and I know this is gonna sound crazy, but you let Bam guard Giannis, right? Who is guarding Brook Lopez? And I'm not saying that Brook Lopez is a world beater, but the way they're playing basketball now,
Myers Leonard.
Brook Lopez a threat.
Myers Leonard. And now I'm not saying Myers Leonard.
I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trusting that.
This isn't – I feel you, but, like, they use Brook Lopez more or so. Huh?
They've turned him into a threat.
Yeah, but I'm not – again, like, that's one of those things where, like, if Brook Lopez beats me in a 7-game series, then that's what it has to be. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how you live. Like, that's how you got to live by it. They got good matchups. Like, you just got dogs out there. We got Jimmy Butler. Like, they're not going to go out easy. When I pick them now, I think I'd probably take the Bucks in 7 still, but I would not sleep on the Heat. The Celtics, I agree that they got great wing play. Man, Gordon Hayward looks good again. Shout out to him for getting back. Jaylen Brown, man.
The Celtics Sixers first round, and I mean I know we beat the Celtics 3 times this year, but I'm just not seeing it.
I like our matchups with the Celtics. That's the only thing.
I do too, but
I like the way we match up with them. But at this point, I don't know. And in a playoff series, at that point, it comes down to in a playoff series, am I taking Brad Stevens or Brett Brown? And I think we all know my answer. I'm taking Brad Stevens. But I mean, if I had to guess right now, the way they look, I think the Bucks come out of the East. I think they beat the Raptors in 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's my guess right now.
All right, well.
So we can get to the nitty-gritty now.
We gonna get to the nitty-gritty now, man. We gonna switch it up. We gonna go back to the Western Conference because for whatever reason in the NBA, as soon as they announced this bubble back, there has been so much contemplation and so much argument about who is going to be the 8th seed in the West. And I've never seen so much discussion over 3 bad teams, but we're going to talk about it. So
because it deserves to be talked about.
We're going to talk about it because realistically, it's not even really a discussion about the 8th seed and who's going to be the 8th seed. Because at this point, it's Portland's 8th seed to lose. And the reason I say that is Portland has officially come back all the way healthy. And you already have the 3rd best backcourt in the NBA if everybody's healthy, excluding Steph and Clay.
Portland looks good, man. I'm not gonna lie.
With Melo coming back in shape, skinny Melo out here finding his rhythm.
Nurkic looks like a stud.
You got Biggs back down low, and then you already have that potent backcourt, man. like it's not a comparison. Portland is better than the Pelicans, and they're better than Memphis. Now, where the argument comes in is everybody wants to argue Zion and Ja. All right. And before I speak my piece on the whole Zion versus Ja thing, I'm gonna let
Kick
you
my feet up for this one.
I'm gonna let you go off, sis, because this is the thing. All right. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, Donnie is our resident Zion hater.
I'm not a hater, man.
Zion does.
I'm
Zion
not a hater.
woke up this morning and ate a bowl of Fruity Pebbles, and Donnie was mad. He was punching. All right.
Listen, man. Listen. Here's the thing.
I'm gonna let Donnie speak his piece on Zion versus Ja.
Here's the thing about Zion Williamson. I don't dislike Zion Williamson as a player. I despise, and despise is a strong word, Zion Williamson fans and the media for what they do. It's kind of like how, like, you know what I mean? Like, people had that, like, dislike for Lonzo because of his dad. That's how I feel about Zion. Like, that's what I feel like the media is doing to Zion. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're digging him a hole so that, to me, he's just never going to get out of. He's never going to – they're putting him on that pedestal that he's never going to reach. And, like, you're right. Like, you know, Zion's going to be a good player. I've been saying he's going to dominate the league for a couple years. Like, absolutely. He's going to average 24, 25, 9 or 10 rebounds, and he's gonna dominate, man. But I don't know. I don't know. I just think that Ja Morant is so discredited because of Zion. And you of all people, you prove my point. You prove my freaking point. You're like, oh well, like, yeah, Ja's great. He's rookie of the year. But, like, if Zion would have played all season. No, there's not no buts, because once you say but, you're now discrediting Ja Morant. Once you say but that's it. Like, it shouldn't be like Ja's a rookie of the year, but, like, you know what I mean? There's no but next to it. Ja Morant's a rookie of the year. My man just proved he had 25, 9, and 9 tonight on the big stage against the Spurs. I went to the big stage. But he played 60, like, what, 5 games this year? I don't care about the argument. I don't care what Zion averaged in 20 games. It just doesn't matter to me. It's too discrediting to Ja Morant to say, like, there's more hype around Zion than Ja Morant. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes, Donnie.
And that's there's no reason for that. There's no reason for it.
But there is, Donnie.
No, there's not. Played 20 games. 21.
Donnie.
He can't stay healthy.
Donnie.
All right, go ahead. I'll let you go off because I know you love Zion. Y'all weigh the same too, so go ahead. That's probably your first. Fat ass.
Look. Here we go. Ja Morant.
Here we go. I'm ready for this bullshit.
Ja Morant is a very good basketball player.
Okay. Here we go. But Zion's go ahead. Go on.
There's no buts. Zion Williamson is also a very good basketball player. For whatever reason, I know there is no whatever reason, because that's just the way sports media works. People get compared to each other all the time. That's all folks do now anymore, is compare players. So we're going to talk about this whole Zion versus Ja thing.
You can't compare 60 games to 20 games. That doesn't work.
You got to let me get there, Donnie. You got to let me get there.
Go ahead. I'd love to hear this.
Because it's not just about the 60 games and the 20 games, man.
Go ahead.
It's about making these assumptions and these thoughts about players and what they're going to be overall a little too soon. So hear me out, because
I hear you.
Let me finish.
I hear you.
You're looking at me like I'm crazy. So, like, for example, bro, and I'm talking about in a negative way, not a positive way, because everybody always hypes up somebody in a positive way. I'm talking about in a negative way. So, Zion, for example. Zion has been in the limelight. We have known about Zion Williamson since he was a sophomore in high school. His first video that we saw of him jumping out the gym doing a windmill dunk was like, what, 2015?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
You know what I'm saying? That's 5 years ago. So dude was 15 years old in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been famous since he was a sophomore in high school. Does social media hype things up a little bit too much and get a little ridiculous?
A little bit.
But 90% of the time, those are trolls who don't have any valid NBA or sport opinion ever. They just saw a dude jump out the gym. They said he's the greatest thing that ever happened. That's social media. That's the way media works now. Now, to that point, anybody who knows basketball can see that Zion and Ja are going to be good players. And anybody who watches basketball and knows anything about basketball understands that they both have deficiencies. Why do they have deficiencies? Because they just both turned 20 years old in their first year in the NBA.
Ja's not 20, bro. Ja's like 23.
Ja's 20 years old.
There's no way he did 3 years of college, bro.
I'm looking at it right now. He's 20 years old.
That's not possible. He did 3 years.
August 10th, 1999. August 10th, 1999. He's 20 years old. He turns 21 in like.
He had the summer birthday. He had the summer birthday. That's why.
So, peep game. That's what I'm saying. And we do it in every sport, at every position, with every player. There's too many times where we try to write off players because, oh, they got hurt early in their career, or this guy had a bad rookie year and he didn't live up to the expectations of his rookie year, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it happens in every sport. In every sport, there's some player that we're speculating on not being as good because they weren't top-tier player their first year in the league or their first couple of years in the league. Perfect example of this, Brandon Ingram. And I was one of the biggest downers on Brandon Ingram, especially after year 2 and 3, where his ceiling looked like he might get you 17 a game, and he wasn't going to live up to being the second overall pick in the draft. But when you get dudes time to get into their own, you see what happens. Like Brandon Ingram, who's not going to be the most improved player here, who looks like a completely different player on the court, because you can't judge a player by his first year or his second.
The thing is, I'm not judging Zion by his rookie year. Again, I think that Zion is going to be a good player. My argument comes in is to where, this man is already deemed as bro, this man's on the cover of a 2K game. He played 20 games. Luka Doncic was second in the league. It's going to finish top 3 in MVP voting. And you put Zion on the cover? Come on, bro. That's terrible.
They put him on the next gen cover because, like I said, he's been the face of the next generation since he was 15.
He's not the face of the next generation anymore, though. Luka Doncic is the face of the next generation.
Player, easily the most marketable player that you could put on the cover of the next gen. He's been famous since he was 15.
Luka Doncic is the face of the next generation.
2 years ago. We've known about Zion for 5 or 6 years, bro.
That's terrible.
He's the most marketable. I don't care.
So now we give niggas a cover on 2K for what they did in high school.
Luka's been great. He's been great. Trae Young has been great. That's phenomenal. But they don't have as much brand recognition.
So we give niggas
Williamson.
So we give niggas the cover now for what they did in high school. John Wall will be on every cover. John Wall will be on every cover. Then he's the best high school.
It's a marketing move. It's a marketing move.
That's terrible.
Stupid to have a video game and not put Zion Williamson on the cover for the next gen. You only get one next gen drop. They're not just going to drop a PS6 in a year.
That's so bad. They're
not going to drop a new Xbox in a year.
That's so bad. It's so bad.
Marketing move, bro.
Luka Doncic should have been on the cover.
Whether Zion dropped 10 points a game or whether Zion dropped 35 points a game.
But that argument right there.
He's the marketing guy.
That argument right there is my problem with Zion Williamson though. Like that argument right there is my problem.
But why?
You see what I'm saying?
But my thing is why do you have a problem with that? Because it's not like he's getting hype and he's a bad player. He's getting hype and he's good and he's shown he's going to be great.
He's good. He's not great yet. He's good. He's good. Cool. Like he played 20 games. I'm like cool. Like good. He looks good. Darius Hart looked good through 20 games too. Nigga was damn near won rookie of the year. Like I can't like he's gonna be good again.
For Zion,
for the 5th time I'm saying this.
You just compare Zion to Dario Saric.
I compared their amount of games they played in their rookie season.
Compare Zion to Dario Saric. Come on.
Again. Zion Williamson is going to be good.
Come on, bro.
But all of this hype, like bro, there's players that are just, even at his age, are better than him. Luka Doncic, Trae Young. Bro, Trae Young don't even get talked about anymore. They're not in the, obviously them not being in the bubble, but you got niggas that think Zion's better than Trae Young.
Bro, there's nobody in their right mind who is saying Zion Williamson.
Bro, you had niggas real life trying to argue that Zion was the rookie of the year. Come on, bro.
Listen, so you're getting upset that the sports media, that you're getting upset at me because sports media is being dumb about saying.
What else do I have to go off of?
All I'm saying to you is that you trying to write off Zion and you want to bring up his injuries. You want to do this. You want to do that, bro. Listen. So he gave us 20 games. He gave us 20 games before the shutdown, right? In those 20 games, he averaged 24 and 6, right? Cool. Those are pretty good numbers for a rookie. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, through 20 games. Cool.
All right, through 20 games, right? Now, 20 games is a quarter of a season in the NBA, right? Now, for the most part, a quarter through the season, right, in any NBA player's case, more or less, you're going to see those kind of numbers throughout the rest of the season. And right or wrong? Right or wrong?
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
How am I wrong?
Because listen, bro,
20 games.
you understand. This man didn't make his debut until
you missed a quarter of a season.
Yes.
Exactly. That's a lot of games, isn't it?
You still got 60 games to go. You know how many games? You know how many games 60 games is, bro?
I understand that. I'm not saying he should be rookie of the year. I'm not. I'm saying 20 games is a good sample size to see what kind of player you're getting.
It's a decent sample size.
It lives up to the hype, bro. That's my point.
Acting like no, shut up.
That's my point. It lives up to the hype. Those 20 games tell you exactly why he was drafted number one and why.
I don't think he should have been the number
one player since he's been in high school.
I don't think he should have been the number one pick.
As an 18 or a 19-year-old,
he should have been the number one pick. Listen, bro. Listen.
He just turned 20 like 2 weeks ago.
Listen, I don't
24 and 6
Zion as a player as much as I discredit the hype around Zion. Bro, Zion made a pass that I've seen you make in LA Fitness. I have vividly, with my own two eyes, seen you make that same pass in LA Fitness. And you would have thought that this man threw a pass like the craziest pass in NBA history. Come on, bro.
Bro, you talking about hype, and I'm talking about what we seen on the court. Good pass, Zion.
But the problem is,
it's media, bro. They see
listen,
anybody do any. So
you're acting like I'm saying that Zion's a bad player. I don't think Zion's a bad player. I think Zion's a great player. But I don't like the hype around Zion, and that's where my dislike for the player comes in at.
So here's the thing. You're mad about Zion hype, but do you get mad at Alex Caruso hype?
Yes, I hate Alex Caruso hype. It's the worst thing in the world.
I hate it. Alex Caruso is TJ McConnell that can jump out the gym. That's my hot take for the day.
And he can shoot. And he can
shoot better. And he can shoot just a little bit. All right? Yeah. I'm not hearing it.
I get hyped about I dislike, so me as a person, I dislike anybody that gets hyped up like that by the media. It's not just Zion. I didn't like Lonzo Ball for no reason other than his dad got on my damn nerve. Correct? You gotta look past that, bro. I can't. It just makes me dislike a player. And then I like niggas like Ja who like they get the hype, but like
I understand.
They came under that limelight like a little bit. Like they were like, bro, really if Ja Morant was in any other draft class right now, niggas would be on his dick. Correct?
Bro, but they was though, because hear me out. He had a crazy tournament run and parlayed it into getting drafted second in the NBA.
Right.
The NBA draft.
Saying, bro.
Like,
and it's crazy that sounds.
Ja gets love. He gets hype. Ja's all over Bleacher Report every night. Every time he dunks something, Ja's on Bleacher Report, ESPN.
He's a highlight. He's a walking highlight. He's earned that. Like I'm saying, like he didn't come in with that. Like I don't want to say hype because he had hype,
State, bro. Huh? And he went to Murray State, and nobody knew about him until the tournament last year, or until the beginning of last year when he started playing well. Mind you, like I said, Zion has been in the limelight since he was 15.
That's fine, but that doesn't. But like you can't, bro. That doesn't discredit. Like the whole argument is like now that doesn't discredit because Zion's been famous for 5 years and Ja Morant just came on like a little more than a year ago. That doesn't discredit Ja Morant, and like you're not discrediting Ja. You don't personally, but as a whole, Ja Morant is discredited because he's in the same draft class as Zion Williamson.
But I think what I'm trying to say is just because Zion gets love, it don't diminish Ja's love. Like it don't diminish Ja's
bro,
life.
All right. So here we
They
go.
both shining, bro.
Here's
These
a good
two are
argument.
special. They are special. That is the 1-2. That is the 1-2 punch of this class. They are special. Luka and Trey are the 1-2 punch of their class. They're special. Just because Luka shine, don't mean Trey don't shine any less. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, you. Yes, from
I understand
you.
your point. I understand your
from
point.
your point of view.
Zion,
Yes.
I understand your point. There's times where Zion is like, all right, we're tired of seeing Zion highlights. But that's because Zion's always in rotation. And we've seen Zion continuously.
Like, oh my God, did you see Zion just got a new pair of Nike slides? Like, I don't care.
Like I said, it'd be something different if he was coming in and he sucked, but he's coming in and he was playing very well.
But to me, it was never about his play. It was never about his play to me. Like, I never questioned that he was going to be good. Like, I talked shit because I didn't like him. But I knew that this dude was he's too big not to be good. He's too athletic not to be good. I don't like players that are, I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm kind of lying because I love Imani Bates.
And people are on his top. And rightfully so, because he's nice.
But now to his defense, if they like when he gets to, I gotta see how they act when he gets to the league. Like, because if they start acting the same way, bro, like I'm gonna fall off that nigga too the same way. I don't like that shit because you can't crown a nigga too early. Like, it ruined a lot of careers. Like, bro, you know how bad they could have did. Imagine if LeBron came out in the social media era, bro. Come on,
That's
man.
what I said to you yesterday. It'd have been crazy because you see.
So it's like I don't like that shit. Like,
but
I don't like,
bro. You can't put too much credit into social media hype, bro. I understand he's in rotation a lot, but that don't take away from anything that Ja's doing.
I'm not gonna hold you. Ja would have won Rookie of the Year even if Zion played. I just want that to be known. I said that at the beginning of the season.
You did say that at the beginning of the season, and I also said that if Zion played, I thought he would have been Rookie of the Year. That was my thoughts. That was my prediction, and then that was no slight on Ja Morant. It was just my thoughts because, like I said, Zion came back, and you saw the play.
Yeah, but I don't want to say like I don't want to discredit him. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm discrediting him, right? And I don't want to say that that's easy to do because it's not easy to come back and play off an injury. But coming into game 60 with like, I don't want to say like nothing to lose because he had all the hype, but like coming in game 60 and playing from 1 to 82 is two totally different ball games, and you know that.
Bro, 24-6 is 24-6.
No, I'm not. Again, I'm not discrediting him.
But 24-6 in the NBA game, when you are the focal point of the game plan now,
he's not the focal point of the game plan. No, that's another thing. That's another thing, bro. Zion's not even the best player on his team.
Bro, so you telling me when Zion came back, yes, you have to stop Brandon Ingram, but you telling me that they were like, oh, we can't let Zion get rolling.
No, yeah, but that's not the focal point.
And he got rolling. Bro, in the game plan.
No, the X on that thing said Brandon Ingram, and then under it said Zion Williamson. But that now again, like this is the shit I'm talking about. Now Brandon Ingram gets discredited, and now Zion.
We have to stop Zion. Oh my God,
we have to stop Zion.
No, bro, you love this word discrediting. Nobody's discrediting him.
You just did.
No, I didn't. I never once said, "Oh, Zion came back and now Brandon Ingram sucks."
You just said Zion came back and he's the
because he's got the hype.
Brandon Ingram is the focal point.
Bro, listen, hear me out, bro. If we were on the basketball team, right? Me and you,
right.
We're on the basketball team. We play together, right?
Right.
All right, cool. And we come into a game and they're getting a player back who's very highly touted, the number one pick in the NBA draft. Everybody is at this game not to see us. They are here to see the number one pick in the draft.
Correct.
As a team, if we're coming in, your thought process is we can't let this guy get going well as the other guy.
No, all right, so hear me out.
Saying stop Brandon Ingram in the game. Hear me out. Zion get going.
So hear me out now. Hear me out, right?
It's not to discredit Brandon Ingram.
No. Hear me out, because I'm about to prove my point, and I think I feel like you'll agree with me because you're an athlete and you're a competitor. So if me and you were on the same basketball team, right? So say senior year, right? Say I'm hurt senior year, right? And I don't play for basketball, and you're hooping, bro. You're averaging like fuck Leo and all the niggas. You're averaging like 25, right? Hooping, right? And you're the best player. You're getting all the love. Oh, Rich Duncan Murphy, he balling. And then I come back from injury, right? I was highly, you know what I mean? Like, niggas like, oh, Donnie coming back. And then the bull will tell you, like, yo, bro, I ain't gonna lie, like, the focal point of our game plan today was Donnie. You're not gonna feel like, damn, bro, like, I've been hooping all season, and your niggas just worried about Donnie?
Bro, you're looking at it from like an ego standpoint, bro.
No,
Like,
it's not about an ego. That's
any
disrespectful.
any team that comes into that arena, there's two. You have two focal points. You have Brandon Ingram and you have Zion.
Yes, I agree. But you said the focal point. Like you basically said, like they were planning to stop Zion Williamson.
But in his first game back as the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, you can't let him get going.
You're right. You can't. And I can guarantee you that board
That's
said,
my point.
yo,
He's a focal
that board.
point.
No. You said he
His
was
first
the
game back,
focal
he comes in as a focal point.
No, you said he's the focal point. Like,
all right, the focal point. Yes, the focal point. The number 1 pick in the draft in his first game that's been blown up for literally 4 months, and you telling me they're like, all right, you know what? Well, whatever Zion does, he does. As long as we still Brandon in,
listen,
okay.
No, but listen, I can get whoever. I don't even know who they played in that first game, but he was probably like, yo, listen, Brandon Ingram's been averaging 24 points a game. We have to stop Brandon Ingram. Zion Williamson is playing today. We can't let Zion get rolling, 100%. But like for you to just say like the focal point of the whole game plan was stop Zion is foolish. That's foolish. And that's disrespectful to Brandon Ingram.
It's not disrespectful to Brandon Ingram because he's still a focal point, bro. It's not disrespectful to him.
You just said.
Did you not?
Bro, you will never agree.
Bro, all you heard was I said Zion's a focal point and you got pissed off. And you missed everything else I said.
Because he's not the focal point. Brandon Ingram is. Who's the best player? Here we go. Who's the best player in the Pelicans right now? Answer this question wisely or I'm ending the Zoom call.
Brandon Ingram is the best player on the New Orleans Pelicans.
That's all I needed to hear. Sorry, we're on the same page then. We're good.
Talk basketball. My blood pressure is right now.
What'd you say?
This is why we don't talk about this because my blood pressure is through the roof. You
I'm just glad you answered the question the right way.
I completely missed my point, but it's okay.
I heard your point. I understand everything that you're saying. I just don't agree.
We'll move on. You know, we'll agree to disagree at this point.
You know, we can't disagree on that.
The Portland Trail Blazers are going to be the 8th seed, and we're done.
That I agree.
We're done talking about Zion and Ja.
No, one thing we can agree on though. One thing we can agree on. Ja Morant rookie of the year.
I agree. Again.
Okay.
That's all that matters. Better?
I would hope you agree, or you would have lost a lot of credit.
You don't punch an air in your head.
No, I love Ja Morant, man. He's a great player.
I know.
That's my guy.
Whatever.
Anyway. He reminds me of Dwayne Wade. I think that's why I like him so much.
You know, he's a good player, and I hope he stops landing on one leg all the time, or he's gonna end up like D Rose, and it's gonna be upsetting.
Oh no! Stop talking to me! Stop talking to me! So how come? Oh, like if he doesn't stop jumping so much, he's gonna end up like D Rose. But Zion can fucking jump and land on his knees at 472 pounds, but nobody's worried about him getting hurt.
You just missed everything I said. Like, there you go again. You just missed what I said again.
No, I didn't hear everything you just said.
You see the way he lands, bro. That don't make you nervous a little bit, since everybody wants to talk about injuries. That don't make you nervous a little bit to see your
I got trust in my guy, bro.
On one leg sideways all the damn time when he dunked.
I got trust in my guy, bro.
That's all I'm saying. Anyway, that would make me a little nervous. That's all I'm saying.
So listen.
Go down on 2 every once in a while. It's okay.
So listen. Him landing on one leg is bad.
Landing all crazy every time you dunk the ball. That's my
Him landing on one leg is bad.
I'm just saying, stop landing like that. We don't want to see it.
I agree. It's toxic. It scares the shit out of me. But I don't want to say that's no different because obviously he's more likely to tweak it and like tear something. But like, what's the difference in Zion's fat ass jumping and being 300 pounds and landing? Rich, you're telling me, bro, how much you weigh? If you don't mind me asking. I know you've been losing some weight.
I have. We 300.
How much you weigh?
We're 300 club.
Okay. So you said you're in the 300 club?
Yes, we're in the 300 club.
All right. Zion's probably damn near closer to 300 club, right? Honestly, like he's got to be at least 290.
290. We'll say 290.
So you're telling me, bro, so as a bigger guy, I don't know because I'm not as big. If you're like constantly jumping that high and landing on your knees, that's there's no issue there. I'm not thinking short term.
There's an issue there, and then it goes to what we've already talked about before. Yes, Zion's probably going to have to lose some weight, very much so. Like I said before, he's going to have to follow the Charles Barkley mold because Charles Barkley came into the league at 6'6", 300. Charles Barkley was an offensive tackle playing basketball.
That's what Zion is right now.
Much like Zion. And the thing about Zion is an even bigger freaking athlete than Chuck was. Right or wrong?
Yes, correct. I agree.
Exactly. So my point is, all right, Zion's probably going to have to lose some weight. If he does lose that weight and he's able to keep himself a little bit more healthy over the next couple of years of his career, man, like that's where the hype is, bro, because we know what he can be. Much like you see with Ja, because he flashes it and more than flashes it, he does it pretty consistently now for the most part. You see how much better he's going to get. It's the same thing with Zion. Zion comes in, he puts up good numbers, but you can see what he can be if he gets those things in order.
We will have this conversation, the same exact conversation in a year after Zion played a full season.
Okay.
And then if I'm wrong, no, he's gonna dominate next year. So I'm not gonna say if I'm wrong because I already know he's gonna dominate next year. That's not true. But
we arguing for no reason.
Huh? No, I was gonna say, like, I want to have this conversation again after he's played 82. Well, he's not gonna play 82 games. After he played 65 games.
All right, but we're gonna hit our last topic of the episode today, and I just want to get your thoughts. A little bit more of a serious topic, less arguing here, just more opinion. The MLB and the NFL have started or are getting ready to start up their seasons in the coming weeks. The MLB has already been going for a couple weeks now. I want to get your thoughts on first the MLB. The MLB kind of came into it with very little restrictions on anything. It didn't really seem like they had much of a plan. They just kind of like, hey, we're going to come back, and the only real thing that we're going to tell you to do is you can wear a mask if you want when you play, and if you got to argue with an umpire, be 6 feet away from them. But there's not much social distancing. There's not much of a bubble or a controlled area where the players can be at. I feel like they kind of regulated that to the teams, and I think that just doesn't work. I think the league needs to step in and make a system like the NBA, where the league is in control of everything, and they're making sure that nobody else even has the opportunity to mess it up. Because now you're at the point where the Marlins have 20-plus tests positive, and the Cardinals are, from what I hear today, are on their way there.
Yeah.
Then it's only a matter of time before the rest of the teams in the league are doing the same thing. Or a lot of
Listen, man. Listen. I'm not gonna lie. It hurts me to say this because I'm not a big baseball fan, but I have been watching because sports are back. Baseball's done. Baseball doesn't make it. I'll go out on a limb and say they don't make it till the end of August, but I can't see them making it another 2 weeks.
I agree.
There's just like you said, there was no plan. Like they're pretty much going about their season as if nothing's going on, except they just don't have fans. So they thought, like, what did they think? Taking out fans was gonna like save the day? Like, no, they have no plan. Like again, for baseball, it's a little bit harder to have a bubble because you have I get it. Like you couldn't really necessarily go in a bubble, but like there was just no plan behind it. Like they don't even like with the NBA and in the bubble, they social distance the bench to where the players can't even be next to each other. The MLB, they're just in a dugout hanging out like it's a regular Sunday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no thought process put into it. And I just think like they jumped the gun, like NBA was coming back, and they were like, "Yo, we got to get back, like, or our fans are gonna be so angry." And they came back with no plan, and it's not going to make it another month. At the most, it's not going to make it another month. But I don't see it making it another 2 weeks.
And then, in regards to the NFL, look, we all love football. Everybody wants to see football played. I'm here to say that I don't think the NFL should have a season. Or I don't think the NFL should have a season until there is a much better plan put in place to make sure that everybody is protected and safe. Reasons I say this, you already see the amount of players who are opting out on these teams for various reasons. And it's because they're concerned that the current plan that's in place isn't going to work. And you got a hard time convincing me as a player to come in and be around 53 other guys day in and day out, sweating and hitting each other all the time and working out and being in close proximity to each other every day, all the time. That I'm going to be safe with what seems to be not much of a plan. Now, it's something different if the NFL did it like the NBA and was able to find a way to bubble, but it's hard to bubble 53 guys and coaches and equipment people and training staff.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Close to 100 people just for one team.
And there's 32.
Keep it running, and there's 32 teams. Now, what I said that might be a decent idea, I don't know if it works. I don't know if it's possible, but maybe you take the teams by division and try to bubble them in a certain area and let them play their division games. Maybe that's the only way I see
it's gonna get to
how you can bubble that many people.
It's gonna get to the point, bro, where like you're gonna you really like it's gonna to me it can't even be division at that point. You just got to do it. What's the closest to you? So like you could bubble the Eagles, the Giants, the Jets, the Redskins, the Patriots. I guess that's what 3 hours. It's not terrible. Patriots, the Ravens. That's that's a decent little bubble right there. And you got the Florida teams, the Falcons, maybe the Titans. Like then you got the Texas teams. Like if that's like something like that from your suggestion, like I don't think it would be division because like just for example, like our division, like where do you meet at? Because is it fair to bring Dallas all the way over here, or is it fair to take us all over there? You know what I mean? Like so, it becomes like so that's just like. If that were something that they were to take in, like as your suggestion, like I feel like that would be easier. You do the mid, like
because at that point when you start doing it like that, then you're turning into baseball, and you're doing exactly what baseball's doing right now. Baseball's only playing like regional games. The Phillies are only playing like the Nationals and the Yankees and the Mets because they're close. But I mean, obviously that's not working for whatever reason.
Yeah, you gotta have a plan to avoid COVID. Like baseball, but like you said, you have the bubble. In baseball, there's no bubble. Like they don't have a bubble.
Exactly. And
so like at the end, you could play. The Eagles could only play the Giants all season. We're an hour away. But if you don't have a bubble, something bad's gonna happen.
And you saw what the NBA did, man. They brought everybody in. They said, here, before we do anything, y'all are quarantining. We're going to make sure that we get these cases down before anything happens. And if there was a spike in cases, they would have shut it down. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you can't play around with this virus, man. You can't. I don't want to hear any conspiracy theories about how it's fake and this and that, and it's all a hoax and whatever Trump was talking about, all that nonsense, bro. I'm not
at Kevin Hopkins.
Bro, listen, like this is a real virus, bro. There's no way around it. And people are dying from it. I don't care if you're gonna say there's 3.2 billion people in America, or however many people that live in America. All right, that's great. 150,000 people dead is still 150,000 people dead. That is bigger than an NFL stadium's worth of people dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that needs to be taken seriously. And
I don't think football happens.
Like, I just don't see how they do it without people getting sick. And then here's the thing: you play a season, and then all right, you let the teams kind of handle how they make sure people stay safe or whatever, instead of making league mandated stuff or making the league control kind of how it happens, right? Now we're in late December, and you gotta play a divisional game to get into the playoffs, and the Steelers-Ravens up, and Lamar Jackson has COVID. He can't play for 2 weeks. He has to quarantine for 2 weeks. Or we get to the AFC Championship game, and Patrick Mahomes has coronavirus.
Or the Super Bowl.
Or for the Super Bowl. And now you're talking about losing star players for big games and this and that, just for the sake of playing games.
It's not, again, they have to have a plan or it's not going to work. I hope they figure out a plan. Like,
you have to have a legitimate plan.
Yeah.
I think your best bet is to get as close to the model of the NBA as possible.
Yeah, you have to come up with some type of bubble.
Obviously,
it's hard because football practice is outside.
Exactly. And obviously there's differences because of the sheer numbers that you're dealing with of people. But you have to
get stadiums, bro. Stadiums is a big thing. Because basketball court is a basketball court. An NFL stadium is totally different.
And bro, just the difference in the game. We're banging bodies for for 4 or 5 seconds of play every play. You're getting jammed up on the line of scrimmage as a receiver. You got linemen going against each other, sweating on each other in the trenches.
And you can't social distance on the sideline either. There's too many people.
It's just too many people. There's a lot of stuff that you have to take into account if you want to truly play football safely. And
Again,
that's why I think you see a lot of these colleges quitting their fall seasons because they don't have a feasible way to do that. And then
you see
down to high school now too.
You see the Pac-12 canceled their season?
Yeah. And kudos to their players for standing up and saying, we're not going to go out there and play for y'all and risk our health because just for the sake of y'all having a season or just for the sake
of your money, for the school's money.
And
that's all it's about.
And I feel for the college seniors and the high school seniors, man, this is a tough thing to deal with. And there's no certainty in the future of what's going to happen. And people losing seasons, I feel for them. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how they're going to fix it or how they're going to rectify it for you guys. But, I mean, it's better just to not have a season if nothing's under control. If it's not under control and you're not going to be safe because you don't want to get sick and either you get hurt or somebody in your family, somebody else gets hurt. Somebody on your team, whatever.
People won't really care. I don't want to say won't care, but like, you know, the people that think it's fake won't be affected by it until it affects somebody that they know.
Exactly.
Then it changes the game.
You gotta be able to keep it under control enough to play safely. The NBA bubble model seems to be what needs to be done for sports to happen, and that's just not feasible for high school. It's just not feasible for colleges, and it's not feasible for bigger sports where there's more people. I don't see it.
I think baseball, they could have did it. I honestly think they could have did it for baseball. I think they just tried to.
Well, here's the thing. Baseball, they suggested a bubble in Phoenix, apparently.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Beforehand, and I think it was the Players Association that said no. But I don't understand why. I mean, that's literally what you have to do. Quarantine, keep everybody in the same area. Don't let anybody leave. And I get it. People don't want to be trapped in a spot for a couple of months. But if you want to play games, that's what you got to do.
But the NBA does a very good job of, like, they're not just locked in a room all day.
Yeah.
Like, they're around other people that obviously don't have the virus as well because they're getting tested.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It ain't like you're quarantined to your room for 2 weeks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's plenty to do. And, like, all right, dude, like, they're playing cornhole. Like, that sounds gay. But, like, you know what I mean? When they're, like, hanging out with each other and, like, you know, interacting with players maybe they haven't seen in a while because they're on two different sides of the country, like, that stuff is cool. And, I don't know, I think baseball definitely, like, fumbled that bag by just trying to wing it and thinking they could get away with it. And look where it got them now. Nowhere.
Yeah, man. Like I said, they need to come up with some kind of plan, or I just don't see the season happening, man. I don't see it happening safely or without hiccup. But as we wrap up here, Donnie, you got anything else you want to say, man?
Yeah, I just want to touch on the Magic real quick. They're up 27 on the Kings.
Well, you know, the Sacramento Kings haven't been doing much since, like, Chris Webber, so.
That's crazy. But nah, man.
Shout out to De'Aaron Fox, though. He's hooping.
Yeah, he's definitely a dog.
Hopefully
But nah, man, I mean, just to wrap it up, man, that like you said, man, honestly, if sports are going to continue, at least like in the near future, it's going to have to be some type of bubble, something that keeps these players healthy, or, you know, that 3 or 4 months we didn't have sports is going to turn into a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about some of y'all, but I know I was losing my mind. So something's going to have to be figured out in the near future, man, or it's going to be a long little bit of time.
Yep. Well, we had a lot of good discussion today. We had a lot of different topics, man. Everybody, please stay safe out there. Please stay safe.
Wear your mask.
Can't stress that enough. Wear a mask. Keep pushing social justice. Keep pushing social justice for everybody. This was not a 1 week event, a 2 week event. This is an everyday thing, man. Black Lives Matter. All right. Keep pushing social justice. Keep pushing for, you know, education reform. Keep pushing for all those kind of things. Make sure that everybody is valued in the same light. All right. That's all we ever wanted. That's all we're going to keep striving to push for.
Sure.
Yeah, with that being said, man, thank y'all for tuning in. Again, we really appreciate y'all love and support. As always, we out of here.
Appreciate it.